Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Mike Lindsley. Here we go. It's 9 minutes with Mike Lindsley, all a part of the ML Sports Platter, IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook. Thanks for being a part of the platform. You can get me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. Download my podcast as well, the ML Sports Platter, all over Spotify, Google Play Music, and iTunes. Had Jay Billis from ESPN on recently, talking Syracuse, talking Bonnies, talking one and done rule, you name it. This video here is brought to you by Bryant and Stratton College, Welch & Company Jewelers, Timberbanks Golf Club, and your State Farm agent, Matt Graham. I am going to Cooperstown this weekend to cover the Hall of Fame induction. It's one of my favorite weekends of the year, arguably is at the top spot. I mean, when you take a look at the whole weekend, it is what it is. Baseball fans coming from near and far. But the big moment for me that never gets old is when you're there on Sunday on induction day, and they've been longer and longer inductions, as we know. But you're sitting there on induction day, and you're in the seats, and there's all these Hall of Famers on the same exact stage right in front of you. When you take a look at Sandy Koufax, Frank Robinson, Whitey Ford, Hank Aaron, Jim Palmer, Johnny Bench, Billy Williams. I mean, there's a million different Hall of Famers on that stage, and they're all there once, during the year together. Fergie Jenkins, Randy Johnson, Robin Yount, Greg Maddux, George Brett, Cal Ripken Jr., Rod Carew. Good Lord. And we have lost some in recent years, I know, but the collection's amazing. And the newest inductees, there will be 6 on Sunday. The first, Chipper Jones. When you take a look at Chipper Jones and you look at this guy's career, first of all, one of the great switch hitters of all time. Second of all, played his entire career with the Atlanta Braves. This is a Jeter, Tony Gwynn, Cal Ripken Jr. type situation here. Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, the list goes on and on, with guys who have played their entire career with just one team. Chipper Jones's numbers are incredible. 1,600 plus RBI, over 300 batting average. How about his OBP being 401, slugging 529, and a 930 OPS? I mean, you're a sabermetric guy. Those numbers are unbelievable. He's got 468 home runs. He's got over 500 doubles. This guy's numbers are unbelievable. Won an MVP, of course, as well in 1999. Won a World Series in 1995. Chipper Jones is a slam dunk, no doubt about it, Hall of Fame player. As you hear the bells ring in the background, Cooper's trying to go outside. He must not know that I have 6 more minutes left in terms of the 9 good minutes here. 9 minutes with Mike Lindsley. Vlad Guerrero, I mean, look, this guy, I think, is probably one of the top 3 to 5 most entertaining players that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Ichiro Suzuki, Barry Bonds, Vlad Guerrero. Those are some of the numbers, some of the names that come up. And when you look at the numbers of the Dominican-born Guerrero, I mean, they are Hall of Fame worthy, man. I tell you what, 449 home runs, 318 batting average. People forget just how good of a hitter this guy really was. He had 2,500 plus hits, and he won an MVP for the LA Angels of Anaheim, remember, in 2004. But the big thing with Vlad Guerrero, he had a Clemente-like arm. He had an Ichiro-like arm out there in right field. You did not run on Vlad Guerrero. And, you know, it gets thrown around a lot. It's gotten thrown around a lot during the years. 5-tool player, right? Hit for average, hit for power, field your position, throw the ball, and be able to run the bases. Vlad Guerrero was a true 5-tool player. Jim Thome is another guy going in to the Hall of Fame. Well, I think that Jim Thome was more one-dimensional than probably Jones and Guerrero. It's very, very difficult to keep a guy with 600 home runs out of the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2,300 plus hits. Boy, he struck out a lot. 2,548 strikeouts. That's unbelievable. You know, solid batting average and all the rest. He played for a long, long time, which is going to have some people say, well, not only is he one-dimensional, but maybe he was a compiler, right? We hear that a lot with some Hall of Famers, and I think it's valid on some cases, and on others it's not. You know, when you look at a guy like Hank Aaron was still putting up unbelievable numbers at the end. He happened to play a long time, and he was healthy all those years. So what else are you going to do? You're going to play all those years and have all of those numbers total up, right? The case of Jim Thome, I think it's a little bit more of a valid thing to say a compiler. But again, from the naked eye, you can't keep a guy out of the Hall of Fame with 600 plus career home runs. So Jim Thome going in was a solid fielder. Obviously spent a lot of time at designated hitter, a little bit of time at third base as well. Played on those power Cleveland Indian teams in the 1990s. Remember those teams with Manny Ramirez and just a slew of unbelievable players. Kenny Lofton, the Dave Justices of the world, Carlos Baerga, Vizquel, Sandy Alomar Jr. Fantastic teams. Never won a World Series. Boy, did they get close. 95 lost to the Braves and Chipper, and 97 they lost to the Florida Marlins. Edgar Renteria getting that big hit up the middle off Charlie Nagy. All right, Trevor Hoffman going into the Hall of Fame. This is the one where I'm not really sure if he belongs into the Hall of Fame, because basically the save number isn't quite what it used to be, and that is really all the guy did. I mean, when you think about compiling numbers and all the rest, you look at him, he compiled saves. 600 saves. I guess they look at that maybe as the barometer, but I got to be honest with you. His win-loss record, 45%. ERA, 2.87. Not remarkably impressive, in my opinion. Innings pitched, not really impressive either. And when you go to the postseason pitching, Trevor Hoffman was not very good. He only had 4 combined saves in postseason appearances in 96 against the Cardinals, in 98 against the Astros, in 98 against the Braves, in 98 against the Yankees. Remember, Scott Brocious took him deep. And then in 2005 and 6, he pitched fairly well in terms of not allowing a run and all that, but again, only pitched 2 innings. The big difference between Mariano Rivera and a Trevor Hoffman, or Mariano Rivera and a Bruce Sutter, or Mariano Rivera and whoever else, is that Mariano dominated the postseason, number one. He's got 5 rings, but Mariano Rivera's other numbers, the ERA, the postseason ERA, the innings pitch, especially from 1996 when he was a setup man for John Wetland, completely different ballgame for Mariano, who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer next summer. The other 2 guys getting in on this newly formed sort of Veterans Committee with more of a younger spin and all the rest, Alan Trammell and Jack Morris. Those 2 guys are getting in. They waited for quite a while. Alan Trammell, to me, was really, as a Detroit Tiger, was a consummate professional. He was a guy who went about the baseball game every single day in, day out. He went about it the exact right way. And as far as Jack Morris is concerned, I've looked at Jack Morris's numbers a million ways this Sunday. My buddy Rocco Carbone has just been pushing to try to get Jack Morris into the Hall of Fame. Is he a Hall of Famer? I think he's pretty borderline, and that's probably why it took him so long to get in. But, man, when you look at Jack Morris's postseason numbers, awfully hard to keep the guy out. He pitched, obviously, really, really well in the postseason. He was a postseason bulldog. When it came to October, that guy knew how to get it done. Now, his ERA 3.80 and all the rest, but it was the big moments. It was the big moments in 1991, rather. He won the MVP and all the rest. People think his numbers are just good enough with that .577 winning percentage, 254 career wins as well. So congratulations to Alan Trammell, Jack Morris, Jim Thome, Vlad Guerrero, Chipper Jones, and of course the entire class. Again, what a class it is. Vlad Guerrero, Chipper Jones, Jim Thome, Trevor Hoffman, Alan Trammell, and Jack Morris. 6 going in, then it's Mo Rivera, then it's Derek Jeter, and we'll see who goes in with those guys. Will Edgar Martinez get in next year? Mike Messina? Any of the steroid guys? What about Kurt Schilling? Should be fascinating. ML Sports Platter, 9 minutes with Mike Lindsley, IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. A big thanks also to Timberbanks Golf Club and Brian Conboy at Mass Mutual, New York State. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L. Sports. Visit pinstripepassion.com for more baseball commentary. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.